Welcome back, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that brief break. Either way, we're going to get right back into it. So, talking about the Bethesda Microsoft deal has now people wondering, including myself especially, with all the reactions happening between the two figureheads of Sony and Microsoft, is this possibly becoming the start of a new console war? Now, anybody not familiar with the term console war, this is a thing that started to be coined in the late 90s, early 2000s, mostly relating to back in the day when you had the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, and you had the Sony PlayStations, and different consoles that kind of rise and fell during those times in the 90s and early 2000s. So, and kind of to give like a brief history on it, there's a lot of documentaries now coming out about video games and the history of video games. So,
like the ones we were watching?
Yeah. So there's a lot of them being made available on Netflix if you have it.
Yeah.
You could possibly find some of them on Amazon, Prime Video, or whatever they call themselves.
Yes.
And they're just documentaries that are out there. Actually, I think there was one released this year that's coined console wars, dealing with the Sega properties, the PlayStation properties, and the Nintendo properties.
Oh man, and like the different creators that just started and pioneered like all these different softwares and stuff. So much stuff I didn't know. So much gaming history, guys. Know your gaming history.
And not only that too, but also too, like how they expanded out into commercials. They did actual bashing of one another.
Oh my gosh, like by name.
By name. Yeah, and then, all the different things.
Yeah, was it Sega? Sega does what Nintendo don't or something like that?
Sega does what Nintendo don't. I forget what, I think Sega was probably the biggest abuser.
Oh man.
Out there in the market.
So,
they did so many different things to try to make fun of the competition.
Oh, constantly.
About the only other company I could think came close to Sega was probably Sony with their things of
PlayStation, really?
Yeah, I think so. Like Crash Bandicoot.
Oh,
I think they had a commercial that he came out to.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if it was Nintendo or Microsoft, and on a bullhorn and shouting out like, "Yeah, come on, let's go." Y'all scared.
No, seriously, whoever, all the people and or person who is the Crash Bandicoot mascot, in that giant costume and everything like that, kudos to you. And all the commercials that they have put you in. Good heavens. Especially, the Japanese ones, are even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're always so much more ridiculous. Always. But, man.
So, again, like we said just before the break, it seems like there's been so much progress made towards mending a road between these companies to more so, instead of compete, but work together to better the experience of the gamers. Particularly, to give an example of that, cross-branding Fortnite, making it available for where a person on Xbox can play with a person on the same server as somebody playing it on a Sony or a PlayStation 4.
I know. Gasp!
Yeah, really.
It was so funny, when they first announced that, we were like, oh, really?
Or even in 2019, you had the top CEOs on the same stage for the Video Game Awards.
Man, that was so
standing
cool.
together, and that was just
And then Reggie left.
I mean, that's fine, because we got Bowser.
Yes! Dog Bowser! Which is hilarious. And amazing.
Yeah, you can't get better promotion than that.
Bruh. I don't. The jokes write themselves.
Yeah, really. Even I wish he was a little bit more Bowser than he's been.
He's been very well. I mean, he's a CEO.
But it's again too. It's a tough time right now too. So he's got enough handful with so much. I'm pretty sure. But
oh man,
we digress.
Yes, of course.
So there's been so much progress made to now where it's starting to seem like with Sony making its release date so close to Microsoft now making deals with Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
It's now got people basically almost scared or possibly hype for what looks to be like maybe a console war making.
You know, it's funny because I feel like of all of the drama that has transpired within the gaming sphere, which is usually has something to do with with Activision or Blizzard or or EA and everything like that. Usually those guys is mostly where the drama is centered around. But I mean, technically Bethesda too, but whatever.
Yeah, Bethesda has done this.
Of course. But I think that lost my train of thought.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I'll pick it up here, or
okay.
I'll do something to remind you.
Go ahead.
All right.
Oh my gosh. So, I'm sorry.
Now people are basically looking to Sony to, if Microsoft is going to buy a bunch of intelligent properties by buying a studio, maybe you should do the same as well. Mm-hmm. Maybe you should go out and buy, who knows, basically I think the biggest one I've heard right now is Konami. Which, again, is hard to argue with because on one hand, I would love it personally because Konami has a bunch of IPs, intelligent properties, that they're doing nothing with. Mm-hmm. They've literally left money on the table to the point where one of my favorite franchises, Suikoden, is basically, right now, there's no way that series is probably going to get revived if it's left to Konami's devices. To the point where the creators behind Suikoden, I think the ones behind 2, 3, and 4, possibly 5 too included, but I don't know, had to go to Kickstarter to raise funding to make a similar project to what they have made with Suikoden.
Yeah, I believe it's called Uriden Chronicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, by the way, check that out. I think the Kickstarter for that one is already over, but it was very successful. I think it was like the third
most backed something like
video
that.
Game.
Yeah,
I think
on Kickstarter.
But either way,
it's very exciting.
That gives you an example that basically under Konami's flag, there's just IPs collecting dust are just straight out being forgotten and dying, to where Sony could buy them from them. And have a huge resurrection of RPGs, action shooters. Like, there's so many games under the Konami, label is just that could make thousands upon millions of dollars.
Yeah. Easily,
just from their name alone. So, on that hand, I don't actually disagree too much with the idea of Sony going out and getting themselves a company, a development company, but at the same time too, just to do it as a reaction to Microsoft, it's like...
I would hope that they would have had something in the works already.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it just so happens that, this timing, hey, want to let you guys know that, guess what we've been doing, woo! So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know how I blanked on this one. Another reason, too, is, basically Konami... it's that whole Kojima love. Basically try to get Kojima's studio to be able to work on his old... I don't think he wants to return back to a Metal Gear series, but at the same time, too, though, take it away from Konami to keep them from butchering it. Because...
we can only hope.
Yeah. Maybe just for that alone, too. That's why Konami's got tossed out there like that. But either way... Things like that is happening now to where, or the discussion of, what's the next move for Sony to react to Microsoft doing that now. And even now, too, people are starting to talk about what is Nintendo about to do? Because I think they just ended the the cycle for the 3DS.
Yes, they did. They are retiring the 3DS. It is being phased out. No more. No longer.
So now with that being phased out, it's like, oh, is there a hint that Nintendo's about to toss its hat into the...
Oh my goodness, the more consoles. It's like, I just got a Switch, dang it.
Which, yeah. Again, that's why it makes it far-fetched, but, I mean, that's the whole thing like they did with the 3DS and with, I guess you could technically say the Wii with the Wii U.
I mean,
they can make a newer Switch. Because, I mean, to be honest, Switch is great. Switch does something very, very unique of blending handheld with a console. It's basically a console on the go, which is a great idea. I mean, who could do it better than Nintendo, who has so much history with working with handhelds? But now it's like, hey, your handheld is being left in the dust as far as graphic performance with possibly maybe memory. I don't know, because again, too, it's kind of hard to say that because, I mean, a Switch can work with SD cards that are now can get humongous.
That's true. I mean, I personally have not run into
a data program.
Yeah, like any sort of storage issue necessarily. But at the same time, I don't have a giant library either.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another thing too. It's like, hey,
because our library is mostly on
maybe it's time for them to start cranking out some games.
Right. Yeah.
So it seems like it's a possibility or just murmurs either from people who want there to be a healthy... That's what I would like from this. If we were to go back to the times of a console war, I felt like in the past, competition was way more healthy than what they could be nowadays. But nowadays, it feels like businesses, especially in the video game world, can get very cutthroat.
Oh.
To the point where it's detrimental to...
It just becomes toxic.
Yeah, it becomes toxic.
Yeah.
Whether it be from the companies themselves doing all this dirt behind doors to get these exclusives, or like and when I say that, my example of something like that is like what EA did with exclusivity with the NFL. Basically knocking out 2K's ability to make football games. Like that was low when you cut out the competition. The competition kept you healthy, right? Kept you on your toes to make a very good game.
You're the only one. There's no bar because you are the bar.
And now you are the bar. And now we've seen what happened with the Maddens in the recent years. Like me personally, I had a problem with Madden 19. I had a problem with Madden 20 because of the whole connectivity. Like even right now, I still can't connect to my EA account because I can't update my email. So, and now with the latest Madden 21, all the bugs and glitches that make that game so terrible, even though it's something that they can fix, but now you done turned off your fan base so bad. And that it's like, you knocked out your competition. You're nobody competing for anymore, and now it's made you lazy. Yeah. It made you complacent to the point where
else they're gonna go?
Yeah, you gotta get a Madden if you want to play football, baby.
Who makes the WWE games?
Oh, that's 2K. That's so granted, I give them a little bit of excuse. A little bit. Now, granted, when I say a little bit, this ain't been coming for a long time for 2K. Because with 2K, the issue was, you don't really have competition as far as that many people making wrestling games. Sure. Which is no fault to them. It wasn't like they made an exclusive deal.
Who made the Japan Pro ones?
Japan Pro was, I think, Spike's Off.
Okay.
So, but even then, too, though, that was the whole problem was, WWE is working with 2K. Mostly because they're dealing with companies that they're used to dealing with. For a good amount of time. The dealings with Aki, Ukes, a couple other companies, I'm blanking on the names and stuff like that. Okay. It's just now, though, it's becoming to where now they've lost dealings with them because those companies are stepping away. And it's for good reason because now WWE is not the only market out there anymore. Like the closest competition WWE had was TNA, and TNA fell off a little bit, having internal problems in their company. WWE was basically at the top of this empire by itself still. But now you got a more open market to where people are now starting to take notice of New Japan Wrestling. AEW now is a thing. Impact, TNA Impact is still around, but now they're starting to rebuild themselves. And all these different other wrestling companies to where now these developers can go, yo, we don't have to just work with the WWE anymore.
Right.
There's other companies and other wrestlers we can reach out to and build up our game and the game database and stuff now. Where before it was WWE because that was a household name. Everybody knows WWE and everybody knows their stars. If you're going to make a wrestling game, more than likely that's who you want to deal with. Otherwise, your sales might not do too well because people don't know all these wrestlers.
Sure.
So, again, healthy competition is good for everybody. It's good for business. I think even to this point where WWE even knows that. So, and it pushes people. It pushes people to do better. Because, again, it raises the bar as far as what you can do. It makes opportunities of what you can do. It makes people really sit down and brainstorm. What can we do different than what 2K and WWE is doing? Especially now in this day and age, because what happened with the latest 2K game was Ukes stepped away mid-production.
Right.
So 2K had to develop and work everything almost as if they started from scratch again, because they didn't have Ukes engine or developers working for them anymore. So they had it, and they should have just not came out with the game. They really shouldn't have. But that's easy to say when you're the consumer.
Of course. But
whereas,
as a company,
as a company, we need some type of turnout.
Yeah.
We already done put this much money, this much time into it. We got to come out with something.
Right.
Even if it, and I imagine too, it probably came that discussion where even if it makes us look bad. It probably still has to come out.
Yeah.
And we'll just do our best to patch it. Because now that's the day and age we're living in now.
Yeah.
Whereas before you had games like E.T., Superman 64. When you made the game, that was it. The game was finished. It was done.
No patches.
You couldn't do anything with it.
No DLC.
Yeah. Now the internet and technology has made it available to where, we messed up this game, but don't worry.
We'll fix it.
We can go in there and fix it with patches.
No Man's Sky.
So, actually now it's almost like an argument that consoles are becoming more and more PCs themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's the aspect of where PCs, not outright, but way before consoles could do that.
Yeah.
They could come out with games and do patches and updates and, reworks.
True.
So now consoles are on that same footing. They're still behind on a lot of things, but God, we're talking about that. And so console wars, I think, could be a good thing if it's done in fun, kind of like what we used to do back in the day. If it ain't that, it need not happen.
Sure.
If we can't have fun with it and poke fun at each other every once in a while and push these developers and people to rah for their team or their side to egg them on to do better,
sure,
there's no point. And we might as well just keep going the trek we're going right now, whereas, hey, let's be more open, let's get more interaction with one another, because this is for the players, this is for the gamers, this is for the business that almost went away at one point, because again, we flooded the markets with very bad games and turned people off. Let's not do that again. Let's keep everything connected. Let's be more exclusive. And I think no matter what, video games is going to have to go that way.
Sure.
Because almost want to make it to where video games are now becoming almost synonymous with kind of like the way we treat our sports. Everybody's got their team. Everybody got their favorite players. But everybody loves the league. Everybody loves the sport. Therefore, if it's anything that's going to hurt the sport or the league, we're probably going to be against
it.
And we're going to be, and that's going to unify us.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Trying to keep it alive.
Try to keep it alive.
I guess it's an upside.
Yeah.
It's like...
But I don't think a console war is a bad thing.
Sure.
I think console war is very good because it means as long as it's healthy competition.
Sure.
So if we go that route, if this is what we're starting to see that trend again, I'm for it.
All right.
But at the same time, too, like buying out companies just to keep them away from each other, that's a dumb reason for it. But sometimes there's some good that can come out of these things.
I was like, that's very Disney of you. Cough, cough.
Oh, well, okay. All right. We're gonna put it that way, and that. What I mean by that is no. Because there's probably somebody out there going, ooh. Yeah, that is very Disney of you, Lynn.
Oh my goodness.
You a Disney? No, I'm not. I am not. But I think, and I'll even give Disney credit for this, because I think there's been some points where they've done this, or this has happened.
Okay.
Right now, if we'll wait for another podcast to talk about that one.
There's
a prime example of that not really happening right now. Okay. But actually, I won't use Disney as an example. I'll use EA as an example.
Oh Lord.
EA is a company that has been detrimental to certain IPs, particularly one that Disney does own as well.
Yeah.
But EA has also been very promising for some companies to allow them the resources and the backing for them to recatch their footing or to refocus themselves.
Okay.
By having a more flexible expectation of dates and releases, and giving them the money and the relief they need, as well as resources of people to help them make their project successful. Now, it kind of goes hand in hand with that, because sometimes that hasn't been the case, sometimes it has been, and only time will tell in the end for EA, how that's. Again, we don't expect every company to knock it out the park every single time.
No, of course not.
So that's why
it's like, even if they do have like a winning streak, eventually they're gonna fall.
Eventually gonna have some bad years. And I'll extend that love to a lot of companies. And I do that with Bethesda. I'll do that with EA.
Blizzard.
I'll do that with Blizzard, even though Blizzard's trying it. They're pushing the limit, I think. But, every company's gonna have a falter. And that's why it's so important for the big brothers of the companies that are doing well, or just, companies that are able to extend a helping hand or extend a helping hand of business that is definitely they're going to benefit from. I mean, nobody's going to go into a business deal and go, yeah, I'm extend my right arm just to expect you to cut it off, but that's cool. You can take it. Nobody's doing that.
Sure.
They expect something in return as well. That's business.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, there's been a lot of companies saved by certain things like that, as far as buyouts or, come under my umbrella. Mm-hmm. Let me help nurture you back to your more successful days. So that way one day, maybe you can get back on your feet and go out into that world on your own. That's why there's been so much talk about even Sega coming back. That's how healthy some of these things have been for a lot of companies and a lot of businesses. Businesses like Sega can even make a comeback in this day and age, or we could be seeing that in the coming years.
That would be cool.
That's great for business, right?
Yeah.
And that's a healthy form of competition. They still probably won't be the juggernauts like they used to be.
But still.
They're
not dead.
But they're not dead. And their IPs are not dead. Mm-hmm. Their ideas are not bad. and are not dead. And they're employing people. They're making work. They're expanding the industry. That's a good thing. No matter what, in the end of the day, that's a good thing. What's up, you nerds? This is Gamer Lynn, introducing you to the new 10x10 podcast, where we like to keep it 100. Stay tuned. I'll keep watching. I think that's all we can say about console wars.
All right.
So, let's get more into us. Let's round this out real quick with what have you been playing, Becky?
I have been playing Paper Mario into the wee hours of the night. I don't know why. It's just like, I don't know why. Like, just times when I just can't fall asleep and whatnot, I'm just like, play some Paper Mario. And then I'm up for like 3 hours.
Yikes.
No, I know it's bad because we go to bed so late anyways.
Yeah.
But Paper Mario is fantastic. As who was it? I think it was Ollie who said, it was like, it slaps. Is what he said. So yeah, it was like, but it's great. It's awesome. It's really, really good, and I've been greatly enjoying it. Something I've always enjoyed about Paper Mario games is like the witty dialogue and everything like that, and it's everywhere. I've taken so many screenshots, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'll probably share them, but at the same time, I don't want to spoil a whole lot of stuff either. So, I mean, I've been trying to think of like what screenshots to actually share as to not like spoil the game. But it's fantastic and wonderful, and I love it so much, and it's been great. What else? I just started Little Dragon Cafe because you
Okay, yeah.
and everything, and like, gosh, I played for hours yesterday. It was like, I literally started it like at time of recording. Yes, it was yesterday. But it's fantastic and wonderful. My dragon is already a child and everything, so it's super duper cute. If you need some sort of like escape from, you know, the craziness of the world, and just want something kind of like fun and cutesy, it's like also have to do with like cooking and stuff. Little Dragon Cafe is adorable. Even the like combat system, quote unquote, isn't very like combat-y. Like literally, if you're like running around, there's these like certain things that like can like chase you, and like the only thing that they do to you is like they tackle you, is how the game words it and everything, and they eat your food is what happens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like that's like that's like obviously a motive to stay away from them, because it's like that's wasting resources. And of course, if you have like a certain item that you're trying to take to someone because they requested it, like in this case, like I was trying to bring somebody a pudding. So yeah, like it was like a construction worker or something. He was like, oh yeah, like I'll be able to tell you about this thing or whatever, but I really want some pudding. If you bring me a pudding, then I'll tell you about this thing. And so yeah, so I was like, all right, cool, I'll bring you a pudding. And I was like, I made a supreme pudding, and then this thing or whatever, I forget what they're called, but it's like it's basically like almost like wild meat is what it looks like. It's weird. I don't know. You'd have to look up like the character design of this wild thing. It's like literally, it looks like almost like a badger, I guess. But like the back of it, instead of it having a tail, it literally looks like a little like ham bone. Like, it's really weird. Anyways,
it's a traditional meat on the bone.
Yes, like on the back of it, but it's actually part of its character design. Like, it's really weird. Anyways, but yeah, so the thing ended up tackling me before I could get to the guy, and it ate my pudding. And I was so upset because I had like 5 other things that were in my inventory that I could have eaten, and it ate that. And I was like, ah!
Why are you making that pudding?
Now I gotta go back to my cafe and remake my pudding. Okay, and So there's that. And then stop it. No, Badland. I know exactly where you're going. Stop it. Anyways, so I'm being super loud. I'm sorry.
Right.
And then of course, Reckoning. Those have been like my three.
That was a given when they did the remake on that one. You was gonna play that.
Oh yeah. Like I'm trying. Before that it was Persona 5 Royal, and
you still gotta finish that.
I do, because I already finished it once, and I got a good ending.
Yeah, but you're trying to get the true ending.
But I'm trying to get the true ending, and I'm at Mikoto's sister's palace and everything. Sai-san. At her palace and everything like that, so I'm kind of running out of time to make sure that I get all the confidant levels where I need them to be. Kasumi's already maxed, and the counselor is like super duper close, and Akechi is like 6, I think, like rank 6 or 7 or something like that, but I still have a long way to go with him still.
Okay.
So and the whole thing is, if I finish this palace before completely leveling him up, then that I have no more chances with him. Gotcha. Just because of where the story goes and everything, because I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, it's just because where the story goes at that point, like, there's no way that I could, spend any more time with him or anything like that. So
gotcha.
Yeah, so okay. I have to do it within this time frame while I'm at this castle. So this is a whole lot of time management, and I think the reason why I haven't gone back to it is because of all the time management that I'm going to have to do to get the true ending and everything like that. It is just too stressful to think about, and I would rather play Little Dragon Cafe and Paper Mario.
Yeah, stress reliever, like
exactly.
I can feel that.
So, what have you been playing then?
I have been playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Yay!
I actually have taken a slight break from it because basically I'm near the middle of, I think, the story, and I have access now to the second island, which I've done a couple of missions, but I haven't finished all the side missions and other stuff from the first island, so that's why I've been going back to the first part of the island to try to finish up all those before I go deeper into the second one, because I know if I get to a certain point, I'm going to be at the end, and I'd rather try to get everything done I can get done to see how many trophies and all the side stuff I can get done. I would like to platinum this game, but I don't know what it will take to do that, and usually I don't play a game to try to seek out all the trophies and platinums and stuff, but right. I like to at least, when I get close to beating a game, achieve everything I can and want to achieve from it, because more than likely, especially with my library, which one day I will show off, I have so many games, I really don't have the time to backtrack.
Right.
So, and then also too, new games are always around the corner, so I really gotta just beat games to try to finish them. I've been playing UFC, is this 4? I think UFC 4 or 3? Is it 3? I forget. The latest UFC I've been playing, and again, I've just been doing career mode on that one. I'll probably do career mode. I think I'm doing a light heavyweight, and I've gotten a belt, and now I'm defending it and trying to finish out his career, and then I'll probably do it one more time with a female fighter, and then I'll probably be done with that game. And I have to say it's a good game. Nothing against it. Ghost of Tsushima is a great game. That one should win Game of the Year for me. It has my vote. UFC game is pretty good. It's the biggest improvement that I enjoy about this one is the impact of the punches and kicks and blows and stuff like that have way better impact and way better collision detection, to where you feel like you can feel more of the weight of the blow behind it and feel like, yes, that knocked that person out, or yeah, that staggered that person, or yeah, that's why he is bloody, or he's got that heavy of a cut. and stuff like that. The little mechanics that they did to try to make certain systems easier, like the submission game, I think got an improvement. Transitions or ground transitions or the jiu-jitsu kind of stuff, whatever. It's like it's helpful sometimes, and then sometimes it feels detrimental to my gameplay. So I need to go back and fix my options for that because it makes it to where it's really easy and to where you can pinpoint whether you want to be more ground or pound to or be more submissive. But sometimes you just want to get a better position or you want to get to a certain position, and it's really hard to tell sometimes unless you play the game a lot or get familiar what these positions can be transitioned into what you're going to try to do or try to get that focus. So it gets really confusing with the new system. But again, I just need to play with the options a little bit more. And there's another game I've been playing. I've been playing a lot more on PC. Like I've been kind of going through this transition of bouncing between games. So I've been playing God, what's that game called? They Are Billions, which is very fun game, very fun RTS survival strategy game that deals with you basically trying to protect your little haven away from the invading zombies. And the reason why they call it They Are Billions is because as the game progresses and as you get into those higher levels, there can be thousands upon billions on the screen attacking your haven. And you're trying to build up your defenses to keep them out. Because once they kind of breach or they get a foothold in, you're probably losing the game and you're restarting the mission.
You know what those always make me think of?
What's that?
Balloons Tower Defense.
Yeah, it's basically it's a tower defense kind of game, but it goes back to those roots of the RTS games of you gotta salvage resources to build certain things, and you gotta build your units for defenses, and you gotta stake in your turrets and stuff like that. So basically, it has a part where it has parts of the game where you can focus on going around the terrain to discover the land in which you can inhabit or gain the resources that are there.
Oh,
and usually you want to gain the resources to make it easier on yourself to build stuff.
Oh, so we're doing resource management and defending.
And defending.
Oh, wow.
That's the whole thing is once these zombies start attacking, especially on those higher levels, they come a-knocking. They become hard. So you want to build those resources and get the research done for way better stuff because you... Like, literally, like, watch some other people play that game. Like, the numbers on the screen gets ridiculous.
Oh my
gosh. I'm not even there yet. I'm still, like, mission, like, 3 or 4 into the game right now.
Gee whiz.
And, like, I'm replaying it somewhat to try to hone in my skills on what is important or what it works. Also, too, I'm trying to build my technology tree to try to figure out, is this technology better than this technology at a certain time? So I research into this sooner and this later and vice versa. It's a lot. That's why I like strategy games. It makes you think. It's a lot of replaying, but once you start to get good at it, you're good, and you can apply that technique or that idealism to other strategy games as well.
All right.
But yeah, that's why I've been playing.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think that's enough there to wrap up this podcast.
Our first episode.
Our little pilot. Our dip of our toe into this whole thing. And
I know.
Definitely want to give a shout out to God. What is their new name now?
ES Arcade.
ES Arcade.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah, let's make sure we get it right. Because definitely with spending time on their podcast. Not only helped us to get an idea of us wanting to try this, but also to any kind of success that we have with this sort of thing, or if we keep doing this, it's probably credit to them. And all the times they've had us on their podcast, blessing us.
Yes.
So we would like to share the blessing with them. Check them out. They do great work. They are great personalities. They are great people. They do hard work. They cover way more topics than I can imagine.
Yeah, ES Arcade.
Yeah. They are way more frequent. We'll probably put a link down into the bottom of the video. Shout out to Rock Rage.
Yay!
Always a great friend.
Mm-hmm.
Always a great mentor. A great associate to bounce ideas off of. And also just to hang out with.
Oh my gosh, we should totally have him on the podcast.
Yeah, we definitely.
Him
yeah.
and Matt. And
we're probably far away from having guests yet, but
not yet.
definitely we are considering you guys if we
course.
continue to do this.
Hey.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Shout outs to 4Gamers HQ.
Whoop, whoop.
I believe they're getting back into the swing of things.
I know where we originated.
Well, where we originated.
Which is so funny to say. But no, yeah, they've been doing real well, like as far as growing their social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook postings and whatnot. So it seems like they're way more active there.
Yeah.
At least for right now.
I think a lot of people are getting that way because again, like I'm pretty sure we'll probably post a video of this up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really good for people to branch out and check out the other medias as well too.
Yeah. Oh, they said that they were going to start live streaming soon.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Dragon Soul Productions has been consistently live streaming and everything on Twitch. Please go check him out, Jonathan. He's fabulous. Also check out Lourdes and her artwork and whatnot. I believe hers is Zluly or Zluly. Let me make sure I'm getting this right.
Yeah.
We'll link everybody down in the description and everything. But
and also too, we work with a great many of people in our community. But you know what? We would love to work with you too. If you are a starting out artist, creator, gamer, you just have ideas or maybe you just want to talk with us. You know, send us an email, send us a comment. Let us know that you're out there and what you do. And we would love to, look into what you do and promote you. You know, we definitely, in doing this podcast, have no kind of sponsors or any true promotions backing us. So, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yes, we can promote you.
Yeah.
All of you lovely people. It's Zluly. So ZLULY.art. So go check out Lourdes at zluly.art on Instagram. Yeah. Please. And thank you.
And also too, don't forget that we also have a YouTube channel. We're making our presence more open on other platforms like Facebook and Instagram as well.
Yes.
Those are the other places where you can find us. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it.
I think so too. So this will be the end of our lovely podcast. Hope whoever made it to the end, applauses for you. You get brownies.
Really? Wait, no, don't be promising people food.
What?
No. Okay, Gamer Ranks, I got an issue, you guys. I want to see some pizza at my front door.
Jake Baldino.
Yeah, Jake Baldino always saying pizza on me. And I'm like, yo, where that pizza at?
I know, right?
Where that pizza party? And if it's, what is that? Pineapples on it? That's all right. You can keep it. I'm giving you an out.
You don't know me pizza.
All you gotta do is just make a video with you eating a slice of Hawaiian pizza, and I'm like, all right, cool. I see you. Because I don't want no part of that.
Yikes. Anyways, thanks for joining us, guys, and we will see you next time.
Because I'm Gamer Lynn.
And I'm Gamer Becka.
And
we want you to keep it 100.